We're here in the operating room with this gorgeous live creature out cold on the table and ready to be examined. But this is no ordinary examination that you'd expect for a wild animal. In fact, we're using human surgical implements to examine a rather common human complaint.
She's traveling through the wild. She's searching for the truth. A courageous child. She's gonna find the proof. Picking up the trail. She's gonna find the answers. She's gonna tell the tale. She's gonna tell the tale. Keep it wild. Keep it free. This could be our last chance to see.
The Wildt Cheetah Research Centre in the Northwest Province breeds, rehabilitates and returns cheetah to the wild. These highly strung cats display exactly the same stress symptoms as people. So if you think that ulcers are unique to us overworked humans, you're wrong.
We think of them roaming free across the grasslands, royal protectors, hunters extraordinaire. But in reality, these gracious creatures are highly vulnerable. With high cub mortality rates, dwindling numbers, and captive breeding being a constant challenge, cheetah face a wide variety of stresses. Here at the Wildt Cheetah Centre near Magaliesburg, they have a team of vets constantly monitoring all the stresses that cheetah are facing. And as you're about to find out, they're quick to take action.
De Wildt is a success story. Over 750 cheetah cubs have been born at De Wildt with a survival rate of 75%. Now that's a huge achievement, given that South Africa's cheetah population was once only around 700. On location, filming a prior episode of Wild Limited, I spoke about my affinity for cheetah. After a history of working with them over the years, I feel that they truly are the ballerinas of the bush. Elegant, moving gracefully, and barely touching the ground with their paws. Yet, they're as fast as lightning, as we're about to discover.
Yeah, they're magnificent creatures.
Because they're such timid creatures and generally comfortable in the presence of humans, it should always be remembered that these are wild animals that function on base instinct. They're fast, they're fierce. So when you're caught unawares by a cheetah with bad attitude, there's not much time to react.
It's so ticklish when they Ow! Ow! No problem. Oh! Okay, thanks. You're right. Yeah, I've got it.
Thanks to Ranger Juliet's quick and expert action, the outcome was more fright than injury. And it's a worthy lesson in the unpredictability of wild animals, no matter how beautiful they might be. We swing right back into action at De Wildt, where we're darting a female cheetah that's been brought in by a farmer. In the past, wild cheetahs often used to get shot on sight. Thanks to conservation education efforts, cheetahs are now rather captured and brought to centres like De Wildt for relocation to alternative areas where they may range more freely.
So you're off to dart the next one?
Yeah, we're going to. Ellen says she's quite cheeky, so we'll just have to watch her.
Darting is necessary so that the cheetah can be given a full medical checkup before going back to the wild.
Gabby knows these cheetah well.
Yeah, she feeds them and they know her well as well, so I'll let them capture her in a cage and then we'll dart her.
Cheetah will generally not attack people if they stand their ground. The De Wildt staff are thus able to approach the cheetah directly and guide her into a cage.
Hey. There we go.
Okay, she's in.
Okay, can we immobilize her?
Ow.
The thing is, you've got to make sure that you get it in quick and in and out and as deep as possible, because you've got to get into large muscle mass for a good absorption, and then they can sleep quicker.
Once the cheetah is immobilized, it takes between 4 to 6 minutes for the drug to take effect. And then she's ready for surgery.
It's all about the care and the safety of these animals. You'll notice that they're wearing flying eye-protecting masks, and that's specifically to protect the eyes from the sun, because once they dart, those eyes are open. So you don't want any damage, and you also don't want dust and leaves going in those eyes as well.
We've arrived at the surgery, and it's straight into theatre to give the cheetah a full once-over. Living wild, there's plenty of things that could be wrong.
She's searching for the truth. She's searching for the truth.
With their survival constantly under threat, their habitat dwindling, and constant predation by both humankind and beast alike, these regal spotted creatures have got a lot to worry about. But just like human beings, they suffer from stomach ulcers. We're here to find out why and what the solutions are. Dr. Caldwell, just talk us through what you're busy doing right now.
What we're doing right now is an annual health check, which is a routine check at the Wildt. We are just scoping, we're doing a gastroscopy, we're scoping the stomach of the cheetah to determine the health status of the stomach and intestines, because they're very predisposed to a disease condition called gastritis.
Gastritis is the inflammation of the stomach lining and is frequently the result of emotional stress and incorrect eating patterns.
Is that what a human ulcer looks like?
That's exactly what a human ulcer looks like. It has an elevation around the region and it's like a little hole in it, and it bleeds all the time, especially if it gets deeper and deeper. And if you don't treat it in time, it just gets deeper and deeper until it becomes a full thickness ulcer. It can penetrate all the way through the stomach.
Then you could die from it.
You can die from it, and you can die acutely from it.
So the same thing, if a human being isn't treated for an ulcer, they will die. And the same applies to cheetah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's actually fairly...
Staying with human similarities, human surgical instruments are also used.
This is a pioneering surgery. I mean, who would have thought that cheetahs suffer from such a common human ailment?
No one would have thought it, but they do, and they suffer quite severely from it.
Cheetah are on the lowest rung of all cat species, and they're predated upon by lion. If that's not stressful enough, their social structure is also stressful. The mother will change the location as to where the cubs are kept on a daily basis to prevent them being predated upon. And then at 18 months, mom leaves. The siblings are on their own. They have to hunt for themselves, they have to fend for themselves. So in the wild, there's already a lot of stress within how cheetah families are structured.
The shorter the time the cheetah is under anesthetic, the better. So everything happens swiftly and efficiently.
Dr. Peter, Janelle, your assistant, is feeding something through on the side of the tube. What is it?
This is the biopsy forceps. It's the piece of instrument that enables us to take tissue samples from the stomach to send off to the pathologist to make a histopathological diagnosis. These health checks are super, super important. Facilities that don't do it lose cheetah and lose animals prolifically.
De Wildt has a very high cheetah survival rate, thanks to the dedication of vets such as Dr. Peter Caldwell, who donate their time and experience to the centre. Just like when we go to the doctor, records of all cheetah patients are kept. So while the cat's on the table, blood samples are drawn for testing, diet is checked, and all possible data is taken and placed on file.
We're very privileged to be this close to a cheetah. And while we've got the opportunity, let's talk about the spine. You know, it is the fastest land mammal on the planet. The spine is incredibly flexible for speed. And if you have a look at these hip bones have a pivotal pelvis, which enables extra leg stretch as they're chasing down prey. And for me, one of the coolest aspects about a cheetah, look at the length of this tail. It can be up to 84 centimeters in length. And the best rule of thumb is that a tail is approximately half the length of the cheetah's body. Pretty interesting. Now, these are non-aggressive animals, and what they would choose to do is rather flight than stay and fight. How does that predisposition factor into their stress levels from a body perspective?
Causes extremely high stress levels, very high cortisol levels, and I think that predisposes, or the main predisposition to their gastritis and ulcerative gastritis in cheetah.
And do you notice a difference in stomach ulcers from a wild cheetah to a captive cheetah?
Yes, I do. It depends on the circumstances, but the wild cheetahs that come in normally have gone through a bit of stress. They were chased down or they were in captive cages for a while where they were caught in the wild. And I normally see little pinprick ulcers in the pyloric region.
Okay, so basically there's been a huge adrenaline rush while this wild cheetah's being caught, and already one can see the symptoms of an ulcer within a 24-hour period.
Absolutely, that's my personal observation, and I've seen it many times.
So is this a debilitating condition?
Gastritis is a debilitating disease in these cheetah.
But it is treatable.
It is treatable. We use drugs that they use in humans, and it's very effective and it cures them, and we give it about twice a year if they suffer hectically from it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're just busy flushing it out and cleaning it.
Although the cheetah has been examined and treated by Dr. Caldwell and his team, the Cheetah CheckUp is not yet over.
Ooh, that high-pitched squeak, it's a familiar sound to most human beings, one that gives us the thrillies. Yes, it's a trip to the dentist. But the patient on the table is not human, it's a cheetah.
Just like humans, a dental checkup means the full treatment: drill, clean and polish. The mouth health of a cheetah is vital to its survival because it depends on biting. Should the cheetah have serious dental problems, whether it be gums or teeth, it may simply lose condition and die of starvation if it is unable to catch prey.
Dr. Steenkamp, you've got an interesting patient on the table today. What is this cheetah suffering from?
Michelle, this cheetah unfortunately has got quite a number of problems. Many of the teeth in this cheetah's mouth is broken or is worn away to the extent that the pulp, the nerve on the inside and the blood vessels on the inside has been exposed. And later on it may lead to abscessation and the cheetah might lose their teeth.
Yep, it's a root canal and abscess treatment for our cheetah. While this doesn't sound very appealing, it will be hugely beneficial to the survival of this cheetah, especially as she's getting on in years and her teeth aren't as sharp as they used to be.
I think it's probably surprising for a lot of the people watching the show to know the lengths that human beings and veterinarians will go to, especially taking care of an animal's teeth.
I think for too long we've neglected that. You know, it's true what you say, it's surprising. However, if we look at the amount of disease that animals get relating to their mouths, I mean, once we've taken them out of the wild and we start taking care of them, we can't stop at anything. We have to take care of the full patient.
One of my favorite little-known facts about cheetah are their spots. This brown spot that you're looking at here is not just in the hair.